Let's get to it. This is a bonus trade analysis on AMD using raw price action only. No hype, no bias, just the charts. Starting from the daily chart, then the hourly, then the 5-minute for next day execution. And right now, AMD is at a very important decision area. Starting with the daily chart, the bigger picture is still clearly bullish. AMD continues to make higher highs and higher lows, and the overall trend structure remains very strong. But there's something important happening here. This move became extremely vertical. AMD basically exploded from the low 200s all the way toward the 470 area in a very aggressive rally. And when stocks move this fast, they usually create imbalance underneath price. That means air pockets, unfilled zones, and increased risk of sharp pullbacks if momentum starts fading. Now, the major resistance area I'm watching on the daily chart is right around 469 to 470. That level already showed rejection, so buyers are now entering a zone where they need real conviction to continue pushing higher. The first major support area underneath is around 445 to 440. That level is critical now. If bulls can continue defending that area, AMD can absolutely continue higher. But if that support starts breaking down, then we could see a much deeper momentum unwind toward 432, 425, and possibly even the 420 zone. So overall, on the daily chart, the trend is still bullish, but the stock is becoming extended and vulnerable to exhaustion. Now let's move into the 1-hour chart, because this is where the real story starts showing up. Momentum is clearly slowing compared to earlier in the rally. We're now seeing hesitation candles, failed continuation attempts, and more rotational behavior near highs. That tells me buyers are still present, but they are no longer fully in control like they were during the vertical breakout phase. This chart is transitioning from straight momentum into a decision zone. And that's a very important distinction. The major resistance area on the hourly chart remains around 455, then 460, and ultimately the 469 highs. But the most important support level right now is still 445. That's the battlefield. If AMD holds above 445 and buyers reclaim momentum, continuation higher remains possible. But if price loses that area cleanly, momentum can unwind quickly. Now let's drill into the 5-minute chart for execution. The intraday structure shows momentum cooling off significantly. The pushes higher are weaker, price is rotating more, and the candles are showing less conviction than earlier in the move. That means chasing longs blindly at these levels becomes dangerous. So here's the execution plan going into next session. For the bullish scenario, I want to see AMD reclaim and hold above roughly 448.75 to 450 with strong buying pressure. That would signal buyers are attempting to regain short-term momentum control. As long as AMD continues holding above the 445 support zone underneath, continuation toward 455, 460, and potentially another retest of 469 becomes possible. For long entries, I'd want confirmation above that 448.75 to 450 zone, with stops below 444, and targets at 455, 460, and 469. Now for the bearish scenario, if AMD loses 445 and cannot reclaim it quickly, sellers could take control fast. And if 440 breaks underneath that, downside momentum could accelerate toward 432, 425, and possibly lower. For short entries, I'd want confirmation below roughly 444.50, with stops above 448 and downside targets around 440, 432, and 425. So overall, AMD is not acting like a weak stock. This is still a very strong stock technically, but right now it's trading in a high pressure area after an extremely aggressive move higher. And the next move probably depends on whether buyers can continue defending that 445 zone. That's the level I'd be watching very closely. Stay sharp. Ciao.